Yo, what's up, homies? It's your boy, Lotard, aka FabvL, and today we're gonna be doing another review. It's been a minute since I've done one of these. Yes, I know, ha, joke. It hasn't been that long. I'm sorry that I've been slacking on videos. I'll be back. Anyways, to the review. So, we're gonna be doing Dead Space 2. I just finished it on the channel. It's been done for a while, yada yada. Same problem that happened with Resident Evil Village. I'm doing the review after the game's been done for like a month or two. This will not happen again. Anyways, I wanted to go and hop right into this one. So here's the table of contents for what we're gonna be doing. There will also be chapters that you can look and scroll through if you want to go specifically to a specific location and look at what I'm going through. Anyways, this will have the spoilers. And before, one last thing, I'm happy that I finally finished Dead Space 2 and I did new things with my editing style. Hopefully that's okay. The 3D stuff that I did, it's been a while since I've done that kind of stuff, so hopefully that's been alright. Anyways, let's move on to the first thing. We're going to talk about the story. The story of the game was actually really good. It started off, like, literally, I had no idea where the story was going to go. I remember in the very beginning of the game and before I started, I was like, where the fuck are we Isaac? Who the hell are we gonna be? No way is Isaac, right? No way. I watched like the little tease trailer thing that they show in the game and I'm like, oh, it's Isaac. Okay, where the fuck is this gonna go? It went places. I didn't expect the story to have any more like Isaac, I guess, like places to go. You know what I mean? Like I thought Isaac's story was done. There we go. I couldn't word for a moment there. Twist wise, the twist in the lore that they added in to the depth of the story was beautiful. I liked it. I think the twist, and I'm going to be touching on this again later, is not as crazy as what happened with Dead Space 1, yet it is still really good and holds up on its own. Because the twist in Dead Space 2 focused more on like the marker and the lore of that itself. And it was sort of obvious what the fuck was gonna happen, to me at least. I don't know if that's just the me thing, but to me, it wasn't like a twist. Like it was like, oh look, oh no, the twist that you knew that was probably gonna happen happened. Oh shit, oh god, no, Nicole's trying to kill me. What? She would never. Why? That's my girlfriend, right? Yeah. Okay. I also feel pretty lied to. I got told that this is probably the reason why the twist didn't get me as much, is because I was told that Isaac died at the end of the game, okay? I was lied to. I thought he died. And it was going to be a tragic story. It was going to be another Resident Evil Village or horror game where they're just like, oh, we'll fucking kill the protagonist. You think we won't? I'll do it right now. I thought he was gonna die, and then they were like, "No, look at this. It's a nice story." It threw me off. I was fucked up. So I think that was part of the reason why I thought Nicole was gonna kill me no matter what. I was like, our girlfriend is going to kill us. I can feel it. I can feel it in my bones. So that's probably part of the reason why the twist didn't do anything for me. But it's still at the same time, I think it's obvious because so many times in there she did try to kill you. So I mean. But it was in your face like a couple times. Overall though, the ending wasn't bad or the story wasn't bad. I could tell some formula parts that they did the same in both games, such as the necromorph you couldn't kill. That was in the first one and the second one. Though it only showed up at the end of the second one. I'll bring this back up when I go into the scare factor. And then also getting betrayed by the female lead character. Pretty much. Oh, I mean, yeah. Lead in the first one, secondary sort of in the second one. But she was like the only friend in the beginning, you know what I mean? Alright, if I had to rate the story altogether, I'd probably give it like a 4. It was pretty good for all it's worth. 4 out of 5. It wasn't bad in any way. The only way I can deduce lower it is if I go, like I said, the twist was obvious to me, but then again, like I already told you why it was like that for me. So if you factor that in, it's probably like a 3. So either way, it's a 4 or a 3, which means the story was pretty good. Now let's go into the scare factor. I like to throw this in here just because my main reason playing horror games is I like to get scared. Obviously, horror is not just scary shit, but I like to talk about it. Anyways, scare factor. One of the big things they did with this game, and it was also prevalent in the other one, is swarming. Swarming is the main way that they like to scare you. However, in this one, it didn't have the same scare factor as in the first one. I think part of the reason is because in the first game, you had a way to escape. You constantly had that way to escape, where like, oh look, you don't have to fight them all, or what's it called? Oh look, if you run around right now, I'll unlock the door. And you have to run around not really having ammo and look through the room, try to get ammo to like fight back for like a minute, 30 seconds, because you're waiting on her to hack the goddamn door. And you're like, hurry the fuck up, hurry the fuck up, because they're just constantly spawning. So that works a little better in the first one, but in this one we didn't really have that because there was nobody else who really hacked for us unless it was in the very beginning of the game and it was the girl who betrayed us. And that we found that out very quickly. It wasn't like a long process to find out that she wasn't helping us, and I'm pretty sure she didn't hack for us. She was more like, come to me, Isaac, come to me, I will help you. Yes, of course. Not like I need you or anything. No, I won't kidnap you. What? The Stockholm Syndrome? No, that doesn't do. Suspense. Now, suspense in this, I think really, it's really hard to talk about like suspense when like horror, action, because they're both around the same thing, right? Tension doesn't really change in between the two. I think horror is a little bit more drawn out, and then action isn't. That'd be the difference, but it's hard to talk about, I guess, in a way. It definitely felt more actiony. It's something I'm going to probably bring up again. Same problem with Village. I'm going to reference a lot of stuff all over the place, and I'm sorry about that. Village felt the same way. It's very actiony to me. This one, however, the reason why it suffered it was, like I already said, swarming, but also it was also way in your face. There wasn't any like drawn out scares. It was like sudden, like almost jump scare. Not that. I don't want to say jump scarish. Jump scares. There's a debate waiting to happen. It ain't jump scarish. It's more like just in your face. It isn't sudden in your face, but it's like, boom, I know what I'm looking at, versus you don't know what the fuck is going on. So for the scare factor, I think rating wise, I'd have to give it like a 2, because it didn't match up with I think what I wanted, but I'm not disappointed. But I'm not gonna be like, it definitely like delivered on the scare factor either. So yeah, I'm gonna give it a 2. 2 out of 5. Mechanics and new monsters. Now, quite a bit of new necromorphs. I think they did pretty good in this department. They added a lot big fucking necromorphs. I mean, every once in a while, right? Everybody just wants to kill a gigantic mutant amalgamation of just what the fuck is that flesh? You know, you're just like, what am I fighting? Is that a tentacle? Is that a knot? Who the fuck are you? What happened to you? What happened? Who did this to you? Why did this happen? God. That's like almost the definition of like horror. You're like, what happened to you? You poor soul. What happened to make you this mutant fucking ugh? In terms of what they also added on a smaller scale, we had the Stalkers. Jesus Christ, the bane of my existence. I hated them. I think part of it has to do with I got stuck when they first introduced them for like 40 minutes because I didn't know how to fight them. Christ, they still haunt my dreams to these days. Not because they're scary, but because I can't fucking deal with them, and they're annoying. Then you had the traps, which is like the little exploding shits, which I think they definitely got out of the horror genre with the traps, because the traps weren't like, they made a lot of noise, which I mean, that's fair. They weren't scary, they were annoying, you know what I mean? Then you had the toddler, and then you had the exploding baby, which I mean, of course, like favorite already, right? Of course, everybody's favorite, an exploding baby. Then we have the mechanics that they added in, which was the hacking. We had we had the vent scene going through. I'm slightly disappointed that there wasn't a scene where they try to kill you in the vents, or that they play off of like the laser. Like they set it up for like laser shit in one of the vents, and I was like, come on, do it. Do the joke with like lasers and shit going everywhere, and they're like, run out of the vent. They didn't do that. I wanted it. It's just a personal favorite. The extra loot. I don't know if this was in the first game or if I just happened to notice it in the second one, and it could have been the difficulty I was on. Somebody who's played the game a lot, fucking correct me or not. I believe I was on normal, but whenever you killed a necromorph, if you stomped the necromorph, you could get extra loot from it. That shit was stupid. Did I use it? Yes, 100%. But though I only found out about it at the very end of the game. Now, like I said, it's still really stupid, though at the same time, it was one of those things where it was very, very unreliable. So I couldn't tell if it was a glitch or if it was supposed to be happening, because it was like, damn, sometimes it works, other times it doesn't work, and sometimes the body just flies off a cliff and you're not getting the body back. And they're just like, nah, we don't drop loot. If you knock the body off, well, fuck it, it's gone. It sounds like a you problem. Should have let the body stay on there and shot it. But I don't have any ammo. Oh, that sounds again like a you problem, bro. Overall, though, I think it was good. I didn't exactly have any issues with the mechanics. The mechanics were really well this time around. And the necromorphs, like I said, the only one I had a problem with was the stalkers. So, of course, the rating is a 4 out of 5. No problem. No problems at all. That was really good. I liked all of them. 8. Comparison to Dead Space 1. I've sort of been doing this the whole time, but we're really going to drill into it this time around. Scare factor. First one. Really, really, really good, in my opinion, at scaring versus the second. I think also it has to do with a lot more of the necromorphs were lying down in the first one that you didn't know in Wake that they were trying to kill you, or like that they were necromorphs. You saw the body and you were like, oh, cool. You didn't have as many of those in the second one, to my like memory. I don't remember if I ran up on any of them. It could be like me being more cautious, but I'm 100% that more likely than not they just like threw them at you versus having them like lie in wait to just get you out of nowhere. So there's that. And then in terms of scaring you also, they introduced the necromorph you couldn't kill in like the middle of the game versus the second one did it at the very end. So the levels of like swarming the fuck out of you really helped in the first one because you couldn't kill one of them. So you knew shooting was pointless. You were wasting ammo. Therefore, you had no option but to run. And when you have that add that into a room where like you're forced to stay in the room, going back to what I said earlier, and you have to wait on somebody hacking through the door for you to actually like go through the door. You're like, hurry up. God, I can only shoot so many of them, and then I still can't shoot this one, and you have to run around and all that. So I'd say the first one definitely killed it in terms of scare factor, especially if you're comparing the two, because it's harder, a little bit harder of a game also, I'd say. I think there were more moments in that game where I ran out of ammo like entirely versus, or almost did, versus in the second one where ammo wasn't a huge issue, but it was an issue, you know what I mean? It was still there, but it wasn't as bad as the other one, if that makes sense. Story, once again, the first one, the twist, I couldn't predict that twist, me personally, but it was also a lot longer. Like, you know how some twists like happen like that, like immediate. I think part of what makes it a lot less hitting to me in the second one is that it's the how long it took for that twist to get there. Since there were two twists, you being betrayed and then Nicole's trying to kill you, it was like two stories, it's boom, this story, then this story. Whereas in the first one, it's one whole story, one whole problem, and boom, there's a twist at the end. So I think because that one is more drawn out, there's a lot more tension there, a lot more like emotional attachment. So it probably made the story have a little bit more of like a hit factor to it with that twist, in my opinion. So I gotta say the story for the first one is a little bit better than the second one. My personal opinion. In terms of mechanics though, and I think monsters, I'd probably give it a Dead Space 2, just because they added in a couple new things. I will never mention the stalkers. But overall, I think I would have to say mechanic wise, I think adding in like with the hacking and stuff like that was definitely great on Dead Space 2. I wish they added in more scenes where you had to like hurry hacking, but there weren't really situations where that happened in Dead Space 2 that I can think of, other than near the end, once again, when you couldn't kill a guy and you had to like stasis him and hack at the same time. That was the only time I really like remember having to hack and like run at the same time, or wanting to run. Sort of like that's what Alien Isolation does well, but sort of like that. Anyways, overall, where would I say? I would say Dead Space 1 is better for most things. And then I'd say for 2 is better at the experience? The experience is better at 2 if you're looking to get scared the fuck out of 1. 1 is better at scaring you and getting you into this dark, gritty world. 2 is more like, oh shit, you already know, here's the grit, here's the gore, here's the galore. But it doesn't scare you. If that makes sense. Now, we're gonna move on to action versus horror. I'm gonna just touch on this. I've said this a million times. Action horror is one of those things I don't personally like. So I have a natural like disdain almost towards this game. At the same time, I also love it. It's a weird place for me. But if I had to rate it overall, we're overall rating the game, and I'm also going to tell you my overall rating for Dead Space 1 without going into the details of it because I went over it mainly in this video. Dead Space 1. I'd give it like a 9 in this overall because, like I already said, all those other benefits, I really liked it. Dead Space 1, in my opinion, I would almost like both of these games. I would recommend to anyone who loves horror or hasn't played horror a lot. I'd say here, play these 2. I think they're both really great games. Really great. I'd say it's one of the only things EA has done right. And then Dead Space 2, I'd give an overall 8. Solid 8. I'm not gonna lower it because of the stalkers or the fact that it's not my type of like cup of tea with the action horror. I think it'd be a 9 if it scared me more. But overall, it was still a great story. I don't have a problem with the story element. It's the first story, not the first story. It's a story that made me sit down and like want to write a inspired story. It's been a while since that's happened in a way. Similar thing happened with Village, but like it doesn't happen often for me when I play like a video game that I get inspired to like write a short story or some shit. Usually it's like music that does that for me. So I mean, that meant the story had to mean something, right? Otherwise I wouldn't have sat down and be like, oh, look at this, that great character. So overall, I think that's about it. Dead Space 1 is slightly better than Dead Space 2, but they're both really great things. I don't know if I'm gonna play the third one. If I do, I might play with a friend, I might not, who fucking knows. And I think that's pretty much it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the review. I know I've also rambled in this. I'm gonna try to make these reviews more concise over time. I'm getting used to doing reviews, so this is like perfecting it over time. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this though. And if you guys did, click that like button. If you guys are new to the channel, click that subscribe button so you don't miss another of my videos. If you guys wish to be notified when I upload, click that notification bell to be notified in your email and on YouTube when I upload. Other than that, hopefully have a great day. And I will catch you homies next load time.
Suck my dick, little bitch, or I'll come and sling your throat. Won't take shit, flick my wrist, turn a demon to a ghost. Keep possessed, can't resist, yeah, always keep it close. Won't take shit, flick my wrist, turn a demon to a ghost. Suck my dick,